going in the room, y'all. Look at this queen. Come on, y'all. Look, come on. Hey, John Malik. Yes. Look at this queen. Come on, y'all. I'm so excited. Whew, I'm a fan out. I'm a little warm. Yes. Come on. Hey, queen. Yes. Hey, Melissa. Come on, Monique. Yes. We are here. We are doing this. The dannIGeeLive double feature. Yes. Come on. I want to throw up some more pictures because this woman is absolutely glorious. Glorious. I mean, come on. Yes. 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 Welcome, 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 and happy Friday. It's sort of bittersweet to say happy Friday because obviously we woke up to, just more disturbing news for this country. But you know what? We are going to stay in the spirit of joy. I'm hoping this show will lift you all up today. But my hearts go out to the people of Indianapolis, to the families of Adam Toledo and Danse Wright. So prayers for them and for all of us in this country and this world. But my guest today, for my anniversary show, can you guys believe I've been doing this for a year? I think it's just incredible. But anywho, thank you all for being here. I just want to say a couple of things about my guest today. And I'm so excited to speak to her because Tamisha is not someone who's in my personal friend circle, but we have certainly orbited each other, and she's been on summer stage twice that I know of in my productions, which I just realized prior to dancing with Kyle Abraham's A.I.M, Abraham Emotion. She also danced with the Martha Graham Dance Company on my stage, the summer stage. So can't wait to ask her about that. But Tamisha Guy, wait, I want to see. Let me see. Wait, there's another picture that I want to bring up. Well, actually, this is a photo of her with Kyle Abraham in 2000. I think that was 18 summer stage. And amazing, right? And here we are today talking, which is lovely. I love this photo. Oh, I love this photo. That is by Tatiana Willis. Yeah, so Tamisha Guy, native of Trinidad and Tobago, raised in New York City, graduate of LaGuardia High School of Performing Arts, SUNY Purchase graduate, Dance Magazine's 25 to Watch named that in 2016. In the same year, she was awarded a Princess Grace Award for just talent and beauty and all of it. And she can explain more of that when she gets on here. 2017 Best Dancer of the Year, named by Dance Europe. And she also is a model, an actress, an advocate. She's been part of HBO's Random Acts of Flyness, where she is a movement coach, which I also would love for her to talk about. And she is in the upcoming digital series Room to Room. And again, a longtime member, I believe 7 to 8 years with Kyle Abraham, dancing with Kyle Abraham. So if you've seen the company in the last 7, 8 years, she joined in 2014, so my math is terrible. But if you've seen the company in the last few years, you've definitely seen my guest today. Hey, Diane Smith. Yes. So let me see if I can find her. And let me get out of these photos. Stop sharing so I can bring her in. Hey, here I am. Again, happy Friday. Let's see if she's watching and I can invite her in. Yes. Oh, unable to join. Oh, dear. Okay, so Tamisha, if you're watching, my love, I believe you're watching, you may have to quickly update your app. So do that real quick. Don't worry, it's happened before. Just go to the App Store, update real quick, and then send me a request once you're ready. So in the meantime, yes, it is my year anniversary of doing dannIGeeLive, and okay, So until Tamisha's ready, I just want to again say thank you to Alexander Diaz, who I just met the other day. Thank you to everyone who has watched over the years and this year. What a journey! And as most of you know who have been watching, I started this during COVID as a response to COVID. Hey Shannon, yes, happy year! And, I've been so fortunate and blessed. Wait, I toasted. I didn't take a sip. Prosecco. I started this out of a need to give back. What's that saying? When you're feeling helpless, help someone. And so I wanted to do whatever I could to help my community. So, and it also helped me too, because we're all struggling with this pandemic. We're all scared and nervous and angry, and so I felt what better way than to channel what I was feeling into doing this streaming weekly show for my friends, my chosen family, which is my artistic community. And every week we've just come on here and talked about their journeys and what they're working on, how we can support them, whether it's financially, mostly financial. And so if you go back to the link tree links in my bio, you will see a link to my Danny G TV channel where you can subscribe. It is YouTube actually, but all the archive past episodes from last year are on there. The first 2 or 3, when I was just getting started, weren't saved, unfortunately. I think the first one was Monique Martin, my girl Stephanie Allen, the designer and stylist, Matt Zarley, the incredible triple threat singer, dancer, actor out in LA, my dear friend Matt Zarley, Felipe Rose. So some of the early ones did not archive because I was still figuring out how to do that. And so, but the ones that were archived, you can see them all on dannIGeeLive.com, which is just my YouTube channel. So please subscribe if you haven't already, because if you ever miss a Friday or just want to go back and see the journey of all these stories, and how you can also support these artists in this time, because we're still in this pandemic. Normally I would start with a mask on, but I said, this one time I just want to be free, and just come on. So, hey, Kishma. So we are waiting for the glorious Tamisha Guy. So until I can get her requests, why don't we just check out some more photos of this queen, honey? So, yes, let's see. Tamisha, this is another shot from when they performed at Summer Stage in 2018. Oh, I think we have her. Okay, so let me get out of here one more time. All good, no panic. So let me cancel that. Goodbye there. Stop sharing. Okay, great. All right, I believe we have Tamisha Guy now. Yay. Yay. Okay, here we go. It's not.
I made it.
Come on, Queen. How you doing, Queen? You understand what I'm talking about? Look at this queen right here. Look at this queen. Look. How are you? Were you panicking? Were you like, oh my God?
Well, I signed in on my computer because I wanted to see everything bigger on this screen.
Oh, right. Yes.
Now, which I hope is okay.
No, it's totally fine. We're good. So thank you again for coming on my show. And I have to give a shout out, obviously, to the divine Gilda Squire, who connected us to make this happen. And if you guys don't know Gilda Squire, you need to know Gilda Squire, because she is that diva, honey, PR and everything else. But in any case, so I feel like this is exciting for me because hitting my 1-year anniversary, and I always use that Sierra song, Level Up. And this is actually my first interview with someone that I don't know, just, personally, this is our first time really talking at like this. And so, it's time to level up. So wanting to interview guests that I don't already know their whole life story, or we haven't kikied at some bar somewhere. So this is Fantastic. So thank you for coming on, and I'm so thrilled to listen to your journey. And so tell us how your background looks beautiful. You look beautiful.
So do you.
Thank you. I have a little extra. Look. I even have in studio audience. Okay. So really quickly. Okay. This is Amelia, named after my great grandmother. This doll was given to me by Bernard Gaddis before my first my debut in Vespers by Ulysses Dove. So this was that doll on tour with Alvin Ailey. And this is Asalenia, which I believe means I love you. I got this doll when Ailey was in Israel, actually. And we were with the people of the Jamona, who are, the expatriates that go to Israel to reclaim their birthright. So we have an in-studio audience today, folks.
No, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
I've been sort of looking forward to chatting with you, so I'm excited.
Yes. So first, just tell us how you are, where you are, and how you are today. Because this week has been really heavy, and I think we share similar values in terms of just our people and uplifting our people. So just how you feeling?
Yeah, I mean, right now I think is incredibly tumultuous, but I'm someone that sort of, I keep trying to find sort of the blessing inside of all of what's going on. And I think that's what's sort of keeping me hopeful and faithful just on my journey as, a human and an artist. So that's where I am today. I'm feeling blessed still.
Yes.
I'm finding, moments to indulge in joy and just to be present. I think being more present is something that I definitely made more of a priority of my sort of practice during this season for sure. Because
What does being more present mean for you?
for me, it's as simple as, when I'm brushing my teeth, like that is the only task that I'm doing. Like I'm not on my phone, I'm not listening to something else. Like I'm so task that's in front of me, or if I'm walking to the train station, like I'm solely just doing that. I'm not like listening to music or anything like that, so I can really be aware of how I'm moving throughout my day. So that's what like living present in the present moment means to me.
I feel that, I think with all the distractions and all the simulation that we have in our daily lives, you're right, I'm guilty of it. Like I'll be doing one thing, but my eyes over there looking at my phone, and you know what I mean? And so even when I'm playing Scrabble with my boyfriend on the weekends, it's like, but I'm checking my phone, or we're like watching TV as opposed to just honing in that one thing. And that's a great practice, I think, to have. And so even just going through your bio, Trinidad and Tobago. So when did you come to the U.S. or to New York?
Yeah, so I moved to New York, Brooklyn, more specifically, with my family in 1998. So I was 8 years old, 8 or 9. And, I think it's the sort of Caribbean mentality at that time, and even now still, like, wanting to live the American dream. So without really knowing what that is, I still don't know what it is, but I think my family was in search of that. So my mom and my brother and I, we moved to New York, and just like figured it out. At first, New York was definitely not the place that I enjoyed being. My grandfather would always say I would write him letters, and I always asking him to come pick me up. Like, come pick me up, please.
Come get me.
Get me. But of course, like I started to settle in, and it became my home, and I love New York now. But yeah, I've been here from 1998 to the present day, and solely only lived in Brooklyn, which has been really beautiful and nice to sort of be amongst still the Caribbean sort of culture. But so I missed, sort of Trinidad, but I still sort of had a little taste of it while I was in Brooklyn.
Yeah. Also, there's such a huge Caribbean culture there. I mean, so to various. And so, do you go back and forth? Do you still have family that you visit back
Yeah,
home?
I tried to go back as often as I could, but as I got older and started to sort of enter into the professional world, it became harder to get back. But my grandparents, my cousins, I have some siblings that are still there as well.
Is your mom still with us?
Yes, my mom is.
Yes. And so, you know, it's looking at your career and all that done over the years. And I ask everyone this typically because I'm so fascinated by artists' journeys. And when did the dance creep in? I mean, we're just culturally, we're always dancing, right? Well, I shouldn't stereotype, but we dance. Okay, that's part of who we are. But when did it kick in that this is what you wanted to do?
Yeah, so when my family moved to New York, like we didn't really, look for extracurricular activities. Like when I was in Trinidad, I used to run track and field and like gymnastics here and there. But when we moved to New York, it was just solely, go to school, come home.
Mhm.
But I went to a public school where they had an affiliation with Ballet Tech, the New York City Public School for.
Yes.
And, they were going to public schools, sort of like assess the children to see if they had potential. And I was given a spot at their school. So I went to Ballet Tech from sixth through eighth grade.
Mhm.
And I think it was there where, I had an interest in dance, but I didn't really know what it was about. And we solely did ballet, character dance, and point. So, that's all that I knew at the time. And then I went to high school at LaGuardia High School. And yeah, I know. So
I mean, I love that so many of my guests have gone through that school. And are there any of your contemporaries that I would know that were in your classes at that time?
maybe, do you know Eleanor Scott,
Mm.
Rochelle Scott, Damani Pompey, uh,
Yes.
in the same class. Yeah, just a lot of, amazing people that I still sort of have relationships with till this day. Yeah, and then from LaGuardia, I went to SUNY Purchase, where I was a double major in dance and arts management. So I think from LaGuardia, you know, jumping from LaGuardia to Purchase, I definitely took a year off before I went to Purchase. And I like to say that that was sort of my moment of like testing myself to see if I really wanted to pursue the art form. And after that year, I realized that dance needed to be a part of my life. So I auditioned for Fordham University in Purchase, and then I chose to go to Purchase. And then from there, you know, dance, more dance and more dance.
Well, listen, let me tell you, when I was going through your bio and I saw Graham, and then I was like, wait a minute. So I went digging back through my summer stage files, and I looked because when I'm so hands-on with my program, so I get to see the program copy that we have to then print out that goes to the audience. So I'm looking to the program because we presented Graham in 2013, and then I looked, I was like, oh my God, there she is. So you actually, and forgive me for not like remembering that like just off the top because there's so many moving pieces and I'm just making sure the dancers are safe. Don't remember who everyone is. But I mean, so it's so great to know that we've actually worked together twice already. And so tell me what that was like dancing, first of all, at Summer Stage and dancing with Graham, with
Yes.
Lloyd Knight. Oh, how
Yeah.
much I love Lloyd Knight and Adil
And
Jacobson. Okay, who is cha-cha and hustling his way into our hearts every week with his live.
yeah,
But tell me about working with Graham.
sure. So I auditioned for the Graham Company because of my Graham teacher at Purchase at the time. She encouraged me to. I think Graham was having an audition that I told myself I wasn't going to. And somehow, leaving the dance building one day, she caught me and she asked me, if I was going to the audition, and I told her no. And then she looked at me and she said, "Well, you're going, and
You're
you're
going.
and don't get cut." And then I said, okay. So, got my resume, my headshot printed, and I went to the audition. And it was a really fun audition. It was a great experience. And I made it to the end, and I was able to speak to the rehearsal director and artistic director. And, you know, getting an education was really important to me and my family. So I wasn't planning to leave school for a dance opportunity. And I think it also wasn't the right fit at the time. So, you know, I went back to Purchase, finished out my senior year. So I'd auditioned for them junior year. And my senior year, they reached out to my Graham teacher asking what I was up to. And at that point, I know it's kind of...
See, kids. I'm sorry, continue. That's awesome.
No. So yeah, they reached out just asking, you know, what I was up to. And at that time, I wasn't up to anything. I was still at school. And so when I graduated from Purchase, I joined the Graham Company in June, sorry, of 2013. So
like a month later, you're at Summer Stage.
Yes.
That show. So were you aware? So that was the same year, 2012. Prior to that was Hurricane Sandy, right? Yeah. And so part of the reason that I was so passionate about booking Graham, besides the fact that, you know, it's such an American treasure, as we know, and part of my vision always is to have a legacy company with, you know, the up and comers and everything else on the season. And they had lost a lot of costumes and set pieces, you know, when Hurricane Sandy came in and flooded the basement at West Beth, they're like down in the basement there. And so I remember thinking, there are some people, they were like, oh, you're booking Graham? That's so old. I was like, it's Graham. It is Martha Graham. Like, y'all kids just don't understand. And it was actually 2 nights. And when I tell you guys, those 2 nights were pat at act Graham. Okay, because kids know. And I'll never forget, my friend Monique Martin was with me. She was still with us working. And there was a moment during the show. And now, listen, we're in the middle of Central Park, one of the, you know, busiest, you know, areas and cities or whatever. You could hear a pin drop when you guys started. And that, to me, I'm getting chills remembering this. Oh my God. That to me was just so much respect of who the company is, and, you know, is, and the gravitas, you know, of the company. And I just remember feeling so proud. So to know that you were a part of that, and now here we are. And then so fast forward, what was, you know, did you leave to go to Kyle Abraham's company, or was you just felt like I need to change?
Well, and, you know, firstly, performing on Summer Stage, my you know, first performance was incredible. And I'm still like in awe of that experience. So
did we take care of you? Are we good?
Yes. Yes.
Was production on their job?
Yes. But transitioning to Kyle, so, you know, I was fairly new to the professional world when I was with Graham. So I didn't really understand, you know, off season and how long that could be. And we were off from Graham for maybe 3 months or so. And I just didn't know what to do at that time. And so during that time, you know, I was off. But going back a little bit, so Kyle choreographed a senior solo on one of my best friends at Purchase, and he came to our senior show and, you know, saw our performance. And then after, he sent me a really nice like Facebook message just congratulating me. And that's sort of, I think, how like our relationship started. And during the 3-month period when I was off from Graham, Kyle sent me an email asking if I was
free. You available, girl? What you doing?
So, and he asked me if I was available to go on a residency with his company to Jacob's Pillow. So I went on the residency, and I just never left. And I think I tried to sort of make it work with both companies, but it became impossible because the schedules sort of, you know, were very similar. So that's sort of how I transitioned from Graham to Kyle's company, just during that off period, just trying to like figure out what to do. But luckily, I think, you know, the stars aligned where Kyle needed a dancer and I was available.
You know, I'm so glad you said that. I am such a proponent and believer in stars aligning and things happening the way they happen for a reason. I mean, sometimes you don't understand the reason, but then other times I'm like, oh, now I get it. But that's amazing. So you basically were invited into 2 companies. Okay, kids. Invited. I mean, come on. That's awesome. You know, you're not in a room with 200 other people sweating it out, hoping and wishing. that's an incredible journey. And so, and we know, listen, I love me some Kyle. I love me some Kyle Abraham. And again, I'm so proud of my journey with Summer Stage. Having booked him way early back, I think it was 2011 or 12. It might have been even earlier than that, actually, now I think about it. But, you know, he did a citywide show for me in Harlem at Jackie Robinson. And when I tell you the kids came out because they had heard, they were like, who's this Kyle Abraham? What is going on? I mean, Mickey Shepard was there from the Apollo. Joe Myers Brown from Philadelphia traveled up. People were there. So to be able to then bring you all back, now that you joined the company, but bring the company back and have them headline, you know, at main stage. I mean, what a moment. It was such a great show. I mean, the weather was but it was such a great show. And then the lights, what was the piece? Drive. Oh, that was one of the pictures I showed earlier. And so part of what I saw, you had written somewhere that you guys just did a residency at, was it Jacob's Pillow? You potted and then went to Jacob's Pillow to rehearse. And so what was that like, being able to touch each other again for the first time? Because we're so tactile. We're not afraid to touch people as dancers. Sometimes you gotta be careful because, you know, non-dancers be like, oh, she's flirting. I'm like, no, just no. Well, what was it like touching each other again for the first time?
I mean, it was beautiful. I think being able to sort of be in close contact with, you know, my colleagues again, and to even be able to hug, you know, a person. But definitely, I think the energy of us sort of being in close proximity again was just really special.
Yeah.
And we were both residencies. So we did a residency at Jacob's Pillow, which was 10 days. And then we did another residency at Cotspawn, which was so we've had a lot of time to sort of, you know, be in close proximity to really sort of dive into the creative process of, you know, what Kyle and the company is creating. So it's been really, I think, great to just have that opportunity during this time, especially. And I think for me personally, it's something I don't take for granted. And I believe my colleagues don't either. So
Absolutely. I mean, especially with so many companies struggling, the fact that you guys were given that chance to bubble together and then perform and from what I read, I think it was Zeta Allen's article, you mentioned that he's able to still create and during this time with you guys. I mean, that is for sure a blessing. And even myself, you know, with Summer Stage, we had to go all digital, but I say it all the time, what a blessing it is to have kept my job this entire time. And I do not for a moment take that for granted at all. And so, you know, you're working with Kyle, and I want to go back a little bit to you winning the Princess Grace Foundation Award. And what was the award in or for?
Dance.
But just like overall performance?
I think it's just, yeah, I think it's dance. I think that's how it's sort of listed, like dance performance maybe. And in the same year, you were featured in the Dance magazine 25 to Watch. So not validating, but what does that do for your mind? Does it put more pressure on you? Or do you feel like, okay, I'm being seen? I think, so I think at the time I was just incredibly proud of myself. And I think I was more excited to share the news with my family. I think especially, you know, coming from Trinidad and sort of like uprooting our lives to a new space, just being able to show that, you know, it wasn't in vain, that I came here and did something, you know.
Yes.
So that was really special for me, I think, initially. And, you know, I just felt really proud of myself. And I know, you know, I pride myself on working extremely hard. And I think it was just special to sort of feel rewarded in that way. But yeah, I think initially it was just for family, just like, you know.
I love that. I love that because I'm actually a Temple University dropout. I'll say it, you know, and I had gotten actually a full scholarship in journalism, but I was already dancing professionally. And then, of course, at that time, there was no way to do both. It just really wasn't. And now I see the kids online with the Fordham programs and everything else. But I just remember feeling like I'm gonna make something happen. I can't be just dropping out of school and then, well, I'm still on the couch for the next 5, 10, 20 years. So I was so glad it worked out. And then my career progressed to Ailey and all these other things. Like, thank God. So is anyone else in your family performing artists or in the arts?
No, not that I know of. So no, I'd say no.
So when they come see you dance, they must, I mean, they get it though. They get that you're this professional dancer and that you have this life in the arts. And just what was it like for them, your mom? I'm super close to my mom, but the first time when was the first thing she saw you do professionally?
First thing, maybe it was performing with Graham at City, I believe. Yeah. That was really exciting. I think just to share that moment with her and, because I think she's always been so supportive. She's the type of mom that's, just always sharing with me, if it makes you happy, then go with it, So I've just had that in my sort of, circle. So it was just beautiful to always just share that moment with her. And
I love that. Yes.
Perform, with Kyle like each season as well at the Joyce. So she's seen a few performances. But yeah, and my mom isn't very emotional, so she's not gonna be like, beautiful performance, you're amazing. She doesn't, give me that.
My mom either. She'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, I was there.
Yeah. Like, okay, mom. Like my mom actually told me once.
Our mothers, right?
Just amazing. She told me that I should smile more. Like after seeing me perform once, like that was the very first thing she said to me. And I think it's the funniest thing because I know it's coming from a
right.
But yeah, just sharing that.
We have a gorgeous smile. I mean, I'm trying not to be distracted. It's just gorgeous. I'm trying to pay attention, but your skin, everything. So tell me a bit about also the fitness. So you did say you were in track, and I mean the athleticism is clear. And so you're in fitness. Tell me about the boxing. I need to know about this boxing.
Yes. Okay, so I started boxing maybe 6 years ago. And initially it was just a fun activity that I wanted to do. And I actually dragged one of my really good friends with me to take my first class. And I was hooked ever since. And initially I was like, okay, I can use this for conditioning, for stamina, and it can help me in my dance practice. And I just stuck with it. Like I used to take classes maybe 2-3 times a week, and sometimes before class, rehearsal or after rehearsal, just to sort of get that rush. And I think it's sort of, the same euphoric feeling that I get when I'm dancing. Like I feel that when I'm in a boxing studio, and I just feel strong.
Yes. I mean, do you feel like, somebody will say you're the fit queen, literally always glowing. Yes, hey kids, 4 times a week. Jason Rodriguez. But do you feel like, because listen, we are living in some crazy ass times. And for me, when I work out now, and I'm trying to get back on some regular program, but I started working out with this feeling like I need to be strong in case I gotta take somebody out. So with your boxing, do you feel like that boxing will help you take somebody self-defense?
Most definitely.
Okay.
Most definitely. And I'm a very petite woman, right? So I know that I have to sort of not be on guard, but just be vigilant. So I think definitely boxing more, it's given me that confidence too, to, just navigate and be in the world, I'm not a lover, but if I needed to defend myself, I could.
Okay, right. So if I can run or at least punch or kick somebody, I'm good, we are living in some crazy, crazy time. And actually, before I ask you about what we talked about last week in terms of either financial stuff you wanted to talk about, this was a great quote in your recent interview with Zita Allen for the Amsterdam News. And it's a little long, but I wrote it all down because I think it's such a great paragraph. And so bear with me when I read this. You said, I think it's imperative to talk about what's going on in the world because I believe it's affecting us and our community. Oh, and we owe it to ourselves, to our audiences and our community that's why it's so special for me dancing with Kyle Abraham, because we not only express it in our work, but we actually have conversations in the studio. It's not something I'm walking around with alone without a space to share my feelings. Of course, it's been hard because these social injustices are affecting people who look like us. So I think it can take a toll on one's spirit. So being in community with my colleagues in the company is very unifying and beautiful. And I'm so grateful to be in a space that celebrates us. I mean, yes, we need that. We need that. And, you know, so what do you do to take care, besides the physical, the boxing? Do you have a routine where you can go and, besides obviously being with the company, just process and metabolize all the stress of what's happening daily in our world right now, especially to people of color and Black folks?
Yeah. It's just finding for me, it's like moments where I can be still and just not think about anything, and I like to sort of go into like a hibernation phase where, my home is quite dark and I'm just sitting still. And I think that helps sort of give me, the boost, the refresh that I need to then sort of be out in the world. But I think sort of coming, back to self is what helps me a lot to just sort of navigate, the noise.
Absolutely. Yeah, someone said to me to make sure I find time for myself. And oh, I absolutely do. I mean, I'm of an age now that I'm like, oh, no, 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 no. I got boundaries. I
Mm,
find my pockets of peace and time. And so it's so crucial. But getting back to what I mentioned before, you are, an advocate for financial wealth and health and stability. So how did that all come about? And what would you like to share with us about that?
Yeah, so I started teaching quite a bit during this season, and I've been just super fortunate to still have work in that way as well, along with working with AIM. And I started teaching at SUNY Purchase, my alma mater, and I wanted to be more of a resource to the students. So beyond just going there once a week teaching them, a class, I wanted to just give them tools so they can better navigate their lives once they leave Purchase. And I teach to senior class. So I had a conversation with them and I was asking them questions about budgeting and taxes and investing, and they had no knowledge of this, right? So, I started thinking and I was like, well, maybe, I can figure out how to get them this information. So I brought in a friend of mine, Antoine Byers,
Oh yeah, I know that's why.
to teach a budgeting for dancers workshop to the students. And
I need that. you know, I'm being honest. Like that's why I was so excited to talk to you, because I've been flying by the seat of my pants financially, and I'll say it honestly. I mean, I'm better now, but I'm in my 50s now, and I wish I had known certain things when I was younger. I mean, that's not what we talked about, financial health and wealth, especially in our community. So yeah, keep going.
yeah, so he came in to teach the class, and I had taken his class before, so I sort of knew the information. And also, my mom works in the accounting world and finance, so I sort of grew up with that, sort of being, a part of my upbringing. But after Antoine taught the class, I just realized that, the students needed more of this information. So I also had my mom lead a seminar where she talked about taxes and how to file taxes and all of that. So from there, I was just like, well, how can I, make this more accessible to not only pre-professional artists and artists outside of my class, but, also professional dancers as well. So I'm currently sort of working on a workshop that I can just offer to pre-professional professional artists where we learn about investing, about
Yes.
yeah, and about just budgeting, because I think it's important, for dancers just to have a better handle on their finances, just to take some of those stressors away. Because if you're thinking about money solely, then you're not really focusing on your art. And I think I want to sort of help, if I can, alleviate a lot of those just concerns and stresses that are around money. Yeah, so that was the initial sort of impetus. And, I'm still working out the sort of who, what, when.
Mm-hmm.
I have the why, but all of the other things I'm sort of putting together. And I hope to have it sort of up and running in the beginning of next year.
That's awesome. And would it be specific to dancers only, or could anybody sign on?
Well, yeah, so I definitely want it to be open, because I think everyone can, get something from this information. So I do want it to be open.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Like I wouldn't, downloaded that app, Stash. I
Oh,
don't know what I was doing. And my boyfriend was like, "What are you doing?"
yes. Well, there's also another app called Mint, which is pretty, it's also a way to keep track of all of your finances, and it sort of calculates your net worth as well. And it tracks your spending. But it's really good to track your spending, and it tells you
It is, yeah.
that. So, yeah.
I mean, even when again, I wish I had had some of this knowledge early on because, like even dancing with Ailey all those years, and I had never made that kind of money before in my life, and I'm like, ooh, I ain't saving it. I mean, it was so stupid. I could have, I was there for 6.5 years. I really could have made some bank, but and it wasn't even like I was spending money on myself necessarily. I was buying gifts on the road and going, and not thinking to set some of that aside for what did end up becoming a rainy day because I got injured. And then I had nothing. I literally had nothing. And of course, workers' comp, they don't pay nothing. And they're evil. Workers' comp is evil. But so this is great. And so the seminar, would they be online? Would these be online seminars or workshops?
Yeah, so I think, Zoom is sort of the thing that's like booming right now. And in my mind, I'm like, why not? Why not
Yeah.
make, uh,
Right.
be on that platform so to be more available to dancers from, New York and across the border. Um, yeah, so hoping to utilize Zoom for the workshop or another platform.
Yeah. What's something, I mean, you mentioned Mint, but what's something that without having to get an app or anything like that, can someone even do just weekly, stock away $5 every week? I mean, just what's an easy way to get started with some savings?
It starts small. So, because I know a lot of people, they say, well, I don't make enough to save. But I think if we're making money, we can save some of it.
Oh,
Um,
that's something, right? What percentage? Like, if you're making like literally, because the dancers are the gig economy.
right.
What percentage would you say makes sense to try to stock away each time?
I think it depends on how much, each individual is bringing in, but it could be as simple as 10% of what you've made, or, if you can't do 10% or a larger percentage, you can just stash away $5, $10, and it starts to add up. It's not sort of about like running a really fast race. Like in terms of saving, it's going to take some time. So I think starting small and just getting into the habit of saving, I think that is what, wants to be exercised for sure.
Yeah, and that conversation around taxes too is important because a bunch of years ago, especially when it comes to 1099s and things, right? I was singing with the diva Gloria Gaynor, and that particular year we had made some bank, but it was all 1099, and I hadn't put anything away. I really had not, and so when it came tax time, man, I owed a lot. I mean, I almost passed out when my tax attorney was like, "You owe blah blah blah." I was like, "What?" I was just singing.
Yeah.
But learning better how put a third of that away when you get it because you're gonna owe back on that. And so these are important lessons to know.
Having that knowledge is so important, because I think also knowing how to make your money work for you, right? Because we think that, okay, we're going to have like 5 jobs and we're going to make all this money. But then when you turn around, you have bills to pay, you have all these things to do. So I think more sense to sort of like start like habitually saving, and then it just becomes something that you do.
Yeah. And we live in one of the most expensive cities in the world. And I'm sure, like most people, like myself thought, well, all right, I gotta pay my rent, I gotta pay my bills, I just got this check, but I still gotta take class, I gotta buy dance gear and to support my art. But, really thinking about putting some of that little money, that change away. Like, I mean, I'm guilty of ordering out and Ubers and, well, right now anyway, because the trains. So I will say that one expense, it saves my health because I'm not trying to build trains right now. I'm a little nervous about all that still, and people are. But so please let us know once it's set up where we can sign up, and I can share with folks as well. But I want to get back to the dance for a second because, again, you guys have you've been working in these pods and Kotzbahn. I can't wait to get up there. So I bought tickets for their Memorial Day weekend series coming up next month. And just tell us what that was like. That just looks beautiful from the photos.
It's so beautiful up there. And I actually was able to perform there in their summer festival with Lloyd Knight. Yeah. Yeah. So we were able.
It sold out so fast. I was trying to get my little tickets out because I'm not the kind of person that's always asking for comps. I just, that's so. But I was just like,
Yeah.
I'm so glad you got that experience, Lloyd Knight. Oh.
No, I loved Lloyd. No, but it was a beautiful experience being up there and just being able to perform again, I think was something I was looking forward to. So it was great to have that opportunity. But working and being there with A.I.M was also, amazing just to have the space to ourselves and to be able to, sleep close to where we were, would be rehearsing was kind of nice as well. And well, it was nice because, you didn't have to take public transportation or anything like that. You could just walk to the studio. And I think that's what I love about residencies is just the access to the studio.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, I also in your bio, you mentioned choreography. So are you working on your own, that we can know about?
Well, the more I don't know, saying that I'm a choreographer has always been very tricky for me. So I like to say creator, but I guess it's the same thing. Right now, not working on anything in particular. The only thing I'm working on currently is just a senior solo for a student that I worked with when I was in California, I believe. So just really excited to create something for her during this time. But nothing else at this moment. I think teaching has sort of really pulled my focus.
Mm-hmm. So you're at Give Me every Tuesday?
Yes, every Tuesday.
How is that class?
30 to 12.
10:30 to 12.
Yeah.
And it's online, right? For right now. Right? So yeah, I did post that. So you can find Tamisha. Her website is also in my bio. So go check out more about Tamisha. And what about in-person performances coming up with A.I.M or anybody else?
So not at the moment. I think, right now with A.I.M we've been in process quite a bit and we're hoping to premiere a new work, An Untitled Love, which is yeah. Yes.
So part of my job, which is a perk of my job, is that I get invited to these studio showings. Okay. So I went to the Alvin Ailey building, I guess it was 2 years ago now, to see like the full Untitled Love. It's all to music by D'Angelo. Baby! Kyle is brilliant. Like he takes the Black experience. It's not like it's Black dance because that's, I think that title, that whatever. But it is clearly like it's like a house party. And the way he was weaving you guys in and out on the couch and the one dancer, I can't think of his name right now, walking through with the salad. I mean, it's just
Jay, yeah.
It's brilliant. I cannot wait to see the piece performed in an actual theater. But I did actually post, and I hope I don't get in trouble for this, I posted a small clip of you and Calvin Royal the third performing excerpts from it at Fire Island. Oh, how was it dancing with him? Ooh.
So I do the role originally, performed a duet originally with C.J. Johnson, the dancer in A.I.M.
Love him. Love him.
So performing it with Calvin was definitely different. I think for me, just in terms of, like height. So I had to like make some adjustments in myself, but I think the energy that him and I think were able to create during that duet, and we didn't have a lot of time to work together. We probably had maybe 2 or 3 rehearsals, and so he learned the dance very quickly.
Wow.
Then we performed it, but he was so open and just so generous with me, and yeah, I had a good time performing with him.
Nice. And so tell me about this room to room that's coming up. You're
Yeah.
working.
Yeah, so Room to Room was a digital collaboration, which was created by Anna Maria Lucacci and Caterina Cavallo. And they wanted to connect dancers basically from all over the world. And they paired me with Keelan Whitmore. He's a former Alonzo King's dancer.
Mm.
Yes. Yes. So they paired us together, and what they did was they had dancers. So one person is the maker, and then one person is basically the vessel. So the dancer, and Keelan was the maker, and I was, the dancer. So we connected, we rehearsed on Zoom, and we created a created a film project.
Nice. Where can we see it?
So it hasn't come out as yet.
Okay.
Still sort of in the
Yeah.
edit.
And so tell me about, I mean, I'm just fascinated because listen, when you're an artist, sometimes you gotta, sometimes it's out of necessity, but it's also your ability to flex. And so I posted also your commercial with Carol's daughter for the curl
Yeah.
crush, right? Campaign. And so have you always kept your hair natural throughout your lifetime, your career?
No, I had a perm actually, high school, college. And I think when I graduated and when I was in the Graham Company, I had a perm as well because I had to slick my hair back to bun. So I had to, have a little length there.
Right.
And
People don't know these things about black hair. They just don't know.
yes. And although now, with more knowledge about my natural hair, I could still do a low bun with my natural hair, but growth. And I think when I joined Kyle is when I went natural. So I've been natural for 8 years now, 8, 9 years.
Beautiful. Yeah, when I was little, I mean, my mother didn't know what to do with my hair, and it was a spongy, honey. It was awful. But and then when I started dancing more seriously, that was the first time I got a perm because, like you just said, when they get that slick bun because my hair creeps. And so it was after I stopped dancing with Ailey that I was like, no more, no more this hair crack, like no more. And I didn't know what was going to come out at the end of it, but working with it, I mean, this is all my natural hair, but it was so freeing for me and such an amazing journey. I mean, it took a minute. Like I didn't cut it off to, I just let it grow out of itself. So it was little half and half for a minute. But yeah, I was so happy to go natural. I mean, I've gotten, blowouts here and there, but that just, it burns, it's hot, it takes forever. And I'm like, yeah, no. I got Dominican women cussing at me because it takes long to get it done. So enough of that. So, wow, and your hair is beautiful. I mean, I do remember looking at some of the pictures from the 2018 show, like this afro. It was gorgeous. So anything else that we should know how we can support you? I mean, we'll watch out for your class, and you'll let us know when you're performing in person with Kyle or anything digitally.
Yeah. Following me on, my social media platforms and checking out my website if you feel inclined to. But I don't have anything really coming up. I think right now I'm just doing a lot of teaching and just, conditioning even more because I think, as we are, the months are moving, we're getting back into rehearsals, of course, and we're going to be rehearsing a lot more. So I just want to be prepared physically to enter that space again.
Yes, I hear. I mean, I've been thinking about that too because, being in pandemic world, no one really sees you, and then I'm thinking, well, Ooh, summer stage is about to get back into something. So I guess I'm about to be visible again. Like for real, for real. Let me work on these abs. Just, and then I guess I can say it now. I've been invited to perform for some project with this new little island space. I mean, that's not until September, so I got some time. So I'm like, let me get my crunches in. It's like a vein, whatever. But this has been lovely, and thank you for being here today on my anniversary show, Tamisha Guy. Wait a minute, what does the A stand for? Your middle initial?
Ayana.
Yes, Ayana. I love that. I love that. Well, listen, come back anytime. This has been wonderful. Again, thank you to Gilda for setting this up with us. This is wonderful, and I can't wait to see what's next on your dancing and the finance and everything else. So I appreciate you, and have a great rest of your Friday.
So much. You know, this has been a treat, and I've been watching all of your interviews with the other incredible people on here. So just
thank you. Thank you for that. Well, stay beautiful. Keep that wonderful smile. Keep smiling. I agree with your mama. Keep smiling. It is beautiful. And I can't wait to meet her the next time I see you guys at the Joyce. If she's there, please introduce me to her so I can say hi.
Well, have a great evening, and I'll be on at 7:30. I know.
Yes, I'm gonna take a quick break, and then I'll be back. But I'm gonna let you out real quick, or you can side out. I'm gonna try to do it.
All right.
I'll see you at 7:30. Okay, great. Yes, come on, kids. That was the amazing Tamisha Guy. So that I can download her episode by itself, I'm going to go out, take a little break, top up my drink, and then we're going to come back for the celebration for the 1-year anniversary. I can't wait. So come right back. We're going to take, a couple of minutes, but I'll be right back on in just a few minutes. So thank you again, Tamisha Guy. Thank you, Gilda. Bless up. See you in 5.